I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 3 of the Netflix miniseries Hollywood. This episode is those Outlaws. I got the entire panel here with me. I got my boy Rob, Kelsey, and Gunner. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing on this Sunday?
Hey.
So great.
I mean, y'all ready to talk about this scandalous show? I want to get your overall thoughts in just a second. You guys know we have all of our special segments for you, news and gossip, and a very, very fun trivia game that we play at the end of the show. But first, I want to get your overall thoughts of this particular episode. Kelsey, ladies first, we'll start with you.
Oh, I love it. I am loving this show. I mean, it gets so much better every episode. Every episode's amazing, but it's like it keeps growing and growing. You're learning so much more about these characters. They're really developing. For me, this has been my favorite episode so far. I think that like I said, you're learning so much more, and I can't wait to keep watching. It's hard not to watch the next one. I love it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. Rob, what did you think about episode?
Yes, I'm loving with this episode that we get deeper into the web of, like I was saying, who really runs Hollywood and how deals are really made. And everything in this Hollywood world seems like it's a gray area, straight, gay, lesbian, Christian, Catholic. It's all, brown, white. It's all a gray area. It's all about who you know and how you can use who you know to get where you want to go.
Absolutely. Gunnar, what are you thinking about episode 3?
It is just the definition of mixing everything together. I love these kind of parties. I think it's so relevant and so important. I was so waiting for us to get to this topic of how things happen in Hollywood, who really makes decisions. It's not in the daylight, it's at night in the dark and in closed doors. And I'm so excited to talk about it.
True.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right on in. So the whole episode just even opens. And they're at the gas station. There's this whole big moment. They're telling about this huge party that everybody's gonna be at. And it's just this, I mean, you already know what's going on at the gas station, but they're just kind of telling you this is the party that you want to come to. George Cukor is the man in Hollywood, the big wigs, everyone's just gonna be there. What did you guys think about that in particular? Is that the norm? Is that something that's going on right now? Like, what are your thoughts on that whole situation and the whole overall party thing? We'll start with Gunnar this time.
Oh, this is 100% how the world works. This isn't just a Hollywood thing. This is how, I don't think there's like these kind of parties like with everything. Like, I don't know. It's 2020, knowing our luck. But this is so how Hollywood works. This is absolutely, you go to these parties, you like smooze up to the big wigs, you make them like you make those connections. It's like the evolution of how networking worked first, from first going to the shadiness and then the direct, like getting lunches with people.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Kelsey?
I totally agree. I think that there's a lot of things that we don't know about, like the big wigs in Hollywood too. And this is kind of it portrays it perfectly. It's like, yeah, this is what happens. This is what actually goes on. And I like how there's so many different like ties to it. Like the gas station boys come, and then it's also like you have the writers and the directors, and it's like when they bump into one another, it's like, wait, why are you here? Aren't you working? No, I'm here with this different person. It's wild, and I loved it. I just think it speaks so true to what actually goes on.
Yeah, and there's so many things that we're going to talk about this party, because the party itself was almost like a character. So we're going to be jumping around throughout this episode. But I do want to get your thoughts on it, Rob, also, because I love that they tied into like real historical figures in Hollywood were at this party. So it's even though we're watching this show and we know it's based on a true story and all of that, they actually use real people like Tallulah Bankhead. Was a real actress. They talked about her personality. What did you think about that aspect of it, Rob?
Yes, I thought that was really good, getting inside of like how these actors are in these settings, and also all the little dramas that they have internally, and how we have everybody inside of one home who has all these different kind of dramas and things that they would like to do. And also you got to see a little bit of some of the producers and agents trying to set up studio hands and actors to get dirt on them. And I'm pretty sure that still happens, because hey, TMZ is around to this day. So
right?
That happens.
Exactly. Now, something that happened at the beginning of this episode really just kind of tore my heart out almost right at the top. I feel like Archie is one of those beloved characters. Like at least I root for him. You know, he's the Black guy, he's the writer, he's like had to overcome a lot of adversity, he's doing whatever to make it. But here we are, and Roy, who is now Rock Hudson, is pouring his heart out to him, and he's kind of telling him about like his upbringing and his mom and his dad and all of that. And I expected Archie to be so empathetic and like nurturing and caring, and immediately he was just in work mode. Like, what does one say about their relationship, if you will, their situation, and what does it say about Archie in particular, Kelsey?
Oof, that's tough. I feel like they're both so, I mean, and Archie especially is like, he's so closed off. Yes, he like got into that, but it's also like he has a wall up. They all have a wall up. They all are just like, they don't know what to do because they're not comfortable. They don't think they can go out and like actually be themselves. So that part, that scene, and then we see it like throughout the whole episode, right? And like see it more towards the end, how their like relationship develops. But I think that was like such a like pivotal moment actually in their relationship, and him just like opening up and being like, hey, this is me, because I don't think that you would do that to someone who you don't really care about, you know? So it's kind of like, oh, all right, we have some feelers happening. But yeah, that was an interesting scene.
And what do you think? Because last episode, remember, Archie even told him this isn't a relationship. Like, we're not boyfriends. Like, this is a business thing. So wasn't he kind of basically walking the talk at that moment?
It 100%, and that's how, as I was saying before, like myself, I cannot say that I know what is like to be a Black gay man in Hollywood or even today. But you understand, like, everyone has walls. There's always things that you either are self-conscious about or embarrassed of, or things that you know you cannot be openly proud about or acknowledge without a deeper level of confidence and armor. And Archie knows that and recognizes it and go for whatever kind of life he grew up in, and that's 100% just that struggle he goes through. And Rock, being a white man, doesn't know that completely. So of course, he's like still hurt. But Archie opening up to that, Kelsey making a really good point, that he shows like, I want you to know why I can't reciprocate these right now. Like, I don't want it to just be a thing of like, this is just a fling. This ain't nothing serious. It's we can't right now. This isn't our time.
Yeah. And Rob, what do you think? Do you think Rock is just being naive to just the world and everything that's going on? Because he's like, yo, I like you, you like me, let's make this happen.
Well, remember, Rock is still green. He just got off the truck a couple of months ago. So he's still learning the ways of Hollywood. But one thing I'm seeing is that in this show, with everybody, you know, being different versions of themselves to make it in whatever area they need to make it in at that time. It's not necessarily just, you know, because a person hiding their sexuality because it's frowned upon. They're hiding their sexuality because certain people, you know, you can't have certain people know who you are, because that certain person may be able to propel you to the next level. And I think
or could destroy you,
or it could destroy you.
Weaponize it.
Everybody's afraid of losing. Everybody's afraid of losing.
And it's funny that you say this, because now everyone wants to be on this Project Peg. You know, it is now they haven't even begun filming, and it is the movie to be on. And one of the things that it kind of posed the question, because you have Jack and Roy essentially are going to be vying for the same position, and they're coming at it from different angles. You know, Jack is coming more from the studio, Roy is coming more from his agent's perspective. But that kind of does beg the question, who is more All-American? When you look at the two side by side, if you're doing the casting, who are you going for as far as All-American? I'm going to start with the writer on the panel. I'm going to my boy Rob on this one.
Well, I think if I would go with the person who looks more marketable for that time. And I think Rock Hudson is a little bit more marketable at that time. You know, he's got that All-American boy look, big chiseled jaw, still a super country and still sweet. He hasn't turned into an a-hole yet, although that's coming because it's in Hollywood. But I think, and I would think that all the producers at that time frame, and even to this day, sometimes it's not about the acting talent. It's all about who can get more eyes transfixed on the screen. And Rock Hudson could do that.
Yeah, what about either one of you have a pick, Kelsey and Gunnar, as far as All-American between the two gentlemen?
It's hard.
Kelsey-
I feel like it's just gonna come because it's not. I don't think it's gonna come down to that. Like who's the obviously, right? It's like not. It doesn't matter who's better for it or who has the look or who has this. It's gonna come down to who knows who and who did what and this and that. So it's hard to even choose. I feel like they're both beautiful. I'm like you're both all American and wonderful. But we don't know.
I see with me, I think that's a very good point, Kelsey. It's 100% who you know. That's how this world works, especially Hollywood. But I kind of feel like Jack fits that description a little bit more. And I think since it's such a toss up, and like my opinion, I think it'd be Jack. But then the fact that he, with respect to like Roy, can act better. So like it's like okay, like you kind of pretty evenly all American, but you can act and you can't. So that's 100%. Now it's like okay, now it doesn't matter who the connections are. It's like I can't hire you. Like you're the better one. In the most like empathetic way, like let's just go off of like skill, not Jack for me.
Yeah, okay. I feel you on that. Another thing so I'm trying to, there's so much, I have like page after page after page of notes from this
I
episode.
know.
One-liners, there were so many things that happened.
Seriously.
One of the things that Archie mentioned kind of at the top where he said that the writer isn't the most important person. He's like, you're dating the least important person in Hollywood. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, he said that, but I really feel like it's the other way around because you can't produce something if there's nothing written down on the paper. So it's like, yeah, we need the studios and all of that to make it happen sometimes, but without a writer, there's nothing. What do you guys think about that? Is the writer the least important person in Hollywood? Whoever wants to jump in on that first, I'm not calling you out.
With respect to all writers in the room and anyone watching that's writers, I think they're completely important. I know that crowd. It's one of my favorites. I love writing. It's so important to myself. But as much as producers, directors, they make the calls. They take your story, make it into something real. Because every writer, there can be thousands of writers to write a story, and even 1,000 writers write the same thing. Producers and directors are the ones that pick the ones they want to do and the people they want to work with. So you're at kind of their mercy, unfortunately. And I wish it could be changed. And I think we're changing that. Like we're respecting the writers and what they create as their passion projects completely.
Yeah, I think that the writers are as important, but I don't think they've ever been given the credit, of that. I don't think that they like ever. So, you obviously can't make something without a writer, but
it's kind of like the teacher scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think his point was kind of perfect. It was kind of like a cheeky way to be like, yeah, clearly, like obviously I am important. Like you think I'm important. Yeah, that's what you would think. But oh no, that's not what society thinks. That's not what Hollywood thinks. So that's kind of, I was like, I liked that.
Yeah,
I thought it was a clever little way to stick that in.
Absolutely.
And I believe that he's right. At that point in time, yeah, writers were one of the lowest people on the totem pole. And to this day, as far as movies goes, yeah, writers are still pretty low on the totem pole. Now in television, yeah, the writers are king in television. Yeah. Like Shonda Rhimes has the equivalent of Bill Gates' power in the world of TV.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, that's just how that goes. It's still TV is the writer's medium, and film is the producer's or director's medium.
Yeah, and so another one of my favorite moments in this entire episode was when Rock Hudson had to go sit and have drinks or dinner, whatever you want to call it, with his agent, Henry Wilson. And he was late to this meeting, and the way that Henry read him back and forth, I laughed from beginning to end. He told him, "You treat the respect that I deserve. I am a star. I am not a star. I'm a star maker." What did y'all think about that whole scene and all of those lines that he was? Oh, some of them. It's not Lana Turner. It's Lana Turner. Listening to an actor is like following a farm animal. Like he just dropped so many gems. What were you guys thinking when this is going on?
Rob? Go ahead, Rob.
Well, to be honest, I was thinking, I still love Jim Parsons' character, but I think he was a little bit, that was a little bit abusive. But I think he did that with the purpose to mold him to the person that he wanted him to be, and also to instill that fear, and also to set him up for further manipulation. Once again, I don't think Henry's the nicest person or the most legit person, but he has that power, he has the connections, and he can make you a star in this town.
Absolutely. He was definitely setting him up to be totally dependent on him in the future. What do you think, Kelsey?
I think that we've all had those run-ins with people in Hollywood, you know, that put you in there like immediately, especially when if you're not from here, you're like, do, and they're like, yeah, that's cute. No, that's not happening. So for me, it was like, oh yeah, we've all had those moments. And I think that was kind of what he was doing. It was a little harsh. I was like, oh God, ow. But I also think that Rock he's so green, Rob. You said he's so green. Like, he has zero clue what's happening. And so I think that was like Jim Parsons' way of just being like, yeah, like here's the shit, buddy. Like, sorry, you're gonna be late. Not a chance. Not gonna happen. You know, so it was a funny scene, but it was also kind of a painful scene.
It was very painful because it seems like Rock keeps finding these people that are so toxic from him, from his family members all the way down to the agent and Archie. What do you think, Gunnar?
So I'm going to make it straight up first. I can't stand Henry Wilson's character. It's like the type of person that like ruins the industry, makes it awful and so hard to get started and be taken seriously, because it's someone that's like, I call the shots and I can be how I want. But
yeah,
I don't disagree, actually, because one, I've always been raised with the mindset, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, don't even bother showing up, which I think helps me out in the industry. I think is a very important mindset to have. I'm one that personally, if you're late, if you're on time with me, you're still on time. If you're late, whatever. But if you're early, I'm like, wow, you're early. I respect that. But it's also a matter of my own naivete that I feel like I'm kind of very much like Roy, of like optimistic and gung-ho and grab the bus, and everyone's like, huh, that's cute. Just wait till we bite you back. Like, it's just, I'm so like, I know that struggle, but Henry did make a lot of good points.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then they ended up spending the night together, which that whole scene at the house. Which one of you wants to tackle the crazy, bizarre scene that was Henry Wilson's house?
Yes,
Gunner shivering.
Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, so there's a lot of things I didn't understand in that. The whole dance. I mean, the dress, you could dress whatever way you want to. That's fine. But the dancing part, what was that all about?
What was that?
What was that?
I don't know.
How is that a part of professional development? Like, what can you learn career-wise from this creepy agent who talked so much trash to you earlier, cut to him dancing all around the apartment, and then after that, hey, come lay in the bed with me. What?
Like, you have done nothing to excite me. Like, regardless of what you're attracted to, this is not. I don't know who this is attracting. I think that's my problem. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was just bizarre to me. So I had to ask you guys if anybody else was sitting there just looking crazy as that was going on.
I feel like these writers are just like layering and layering and layering on to Henry's character to make you like dislike him, as well as just be confused by him in like every way, shape, and form. And that was just another way of just being like what? Where? What? I honestly for a second thought it was like Rock was maybe having a dream, and then it was bizarre. It was so bizarre.
It like, because I'm pretty sure it was like actually just a bunch of scarves he had on Tuesday. I'm like, wait, is that like one dress thing? I'm like, wait, is it scarf? Like, what? How is he stripping it off?
What's happening?
And then like Rock's reaction is so perfect, like drinking, like so he's like basically like getting like himself like hammered and just like so uncomfortable. And I was like, I need a drink too. I am uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
At first I thought he was like recreating I Dream of Jeannie or something. And I was like, wait, I Dream of Jeannie hadn't even come out yet. So I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, I have no idea what this is. So something else, like I keep talking about, they keep having these historical references. So when Miss Kincaid is kind of coaching or teaching Jack, she kind of tells him like, we are now transitioning from the whole silent, over dramatic theatrics of acting to more intense and eyes. Like I said, I just really appreciate all the education and how they keep
from
the storyline.
New York.
Exactly. Like, what did y'all think of that? What do y'all think when they drop like real life time frame elements into this story? We'll start with you, Rob. Sorry.
I like the real life time element because it gives the audience viewer, which is us, like it gives us stuff to like look into. Like, okay, now we're being told this. Now we want to know if this is fact or fiction. How much of this is fact and or is fiction, and how, you know. And then after that, we want to go and research all these things. And I think it engages us more and makes us look forward to the next episode, because what else are we going to be dropped?
Exactly.
What other time frames are going to be dropped on us?
Yeah, absolutely. And then so we're coming back to the party again, and there's just so many things that I am trying to remember. So like you said, we're trying to figure out what's real and what's not. The whole situation with John Wayne and Mae West, is that like a real scenario, real story? Because, you know, they dropped that at the dinner party, that he had to basically sleep with her to get his first role. Is that real? Like, there's just so many things. The lady from Gone with the Wind, like, was she really like a nervous wreck that had to be, and this is a quote, this is not me, they said feed the kitty? Like, is that something like, is that how she operated in real life?
That is not me.
Well, is that even a saying, feed the kitty? Or what?
I wrote it down because I wanted y'all to know, not me. I never thought in a million years I would utter those words on camera for a show. But here we are reporting this. So
here we are.
What did y'all think about all of that? We'll start with you, babe.
Oh my, so much. It's how you were saying, like, shows you what's going on, and like what I really got at was like the whole bangle scene when she was like, "Call my arms vanished. I always have a bangle. I never leave," and it's like, it just shows the insanity that can go into like comments and how powerful words can be to you. And I was like, wow, like someone makes like, it kind of is, even myself, if a certain insult or like even just like commentary on myself like happens, I just kind of, it shuts you down. It's like all you obsess over, and how much this, like, just the insanity that goes into Hollywood, and how you said like the historical aspect, it shows you, makes you invested, and it anchors you to like, wow, this is what they went through. This isn't just like hysteria or like dramatizing it. It's real.
Yeah, and it's still, like you said, it is still happening, because even Mariah Carey, she talks about how her first agent or somebody told her her best side was, I forget, her left or her right. And so now to this day, 30 years later, she still only likes to be photographed on one side.
You hold on to those comments.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Absolutely. And like, you know what Gunnar was saying, it's like you can also look at yourself and think something or be critical of something for so long that it truly, I mean, it just sticks with you. It just, one little comment from someone in, who knows, high school, that you're like, oh my gosh, wait, what? So yeah, I think that scene was wild, and it was very telling, and it was also very true. And then even I liked the part where she said that she was thinking of, or there's that new film coming out in London, or the new show, and it's similar to her old role, but she's like, oh, but that role put me like in for 2 years, like put me out of commission for 2 years after that. And I was like, dang, girl. But I mean, it's real. It's like all the stuff that all of these high profile people have to deal with, all those, like, especially now with all the trolls, and man, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. What do you got, Rob?
Yeah, well, you know, Kanye West said it best: the people highest up got the lowest self-esteem.
Come on.
And like, here's one thing that I was seeing that's repetitive inside this episode, and also other episodes. Like, so this actress from Gone with the Wind, one of the biggest films ever, has a problem with insecurity. And all the other actors in this episode and other episodes have a problem with insecurity. This is how people are able to manipulate them. This is somebody like Henry, who sees those insecurities when people come switching in through the door, and then they focus on them and they exploit them. And that's one good thing to see in that show. And not just for us, but I think for other people in that party, because you got, like I said, a really big actor from one of the biggest films of all time, who is a mess, and other people that could help some other people in that party. Well, I'm a mess, but she's not together at all.
Exactly. Right. Wow. So there are a few other things that I want to touch on, but we'll save that for the closing of the show. So let's go ahead and get into our first special segment, which is our news and gossip. What you got for us, Gunnar?
Actually, I have a little fun. A little bit more of Claire Wood's character, the actress who, Samara Weaving, I hope I didn't butcher that too badly, that she actually received this audition as a secret, and it was just an untitled project, and was given a scene to read from Some Like It Hot, the 1959 film, and she went full Marilyn Monroe on the reading, and found out 2 months later that this was with Ryan Murphy's show.
Wow.
Right? Like,
that's
so cool.
That is really what's up. and I think she's killing that role also. Like she was a great cast for that role as far as I'm concerned.
I'm excited to see her grow too as a character.
I told y'all last one that my predictions, that's the one my eye is on her because she's up to no good.
Oh gosh, yeah. And you got a little bit of that in this one too.
And Gunnar, I think that's awesome that you bring up this for this particular news segment for this, because it coincides with the episode. Like, look at all these people in the episode getting these connections and invites to places that they didn't even know that was going to turn into that. Like,
or exist.
Exactly. So one day you're sitting at a table with an annoying agent, and then the same day, later on that night, you're at a party with a bunch of naked men who you ever seen, with all these powerful people in Hollywood just hanging out, doing drugs, drinking like it's nothing. And this are the 40s. So
imagine today. Let me just. I'm not putting any of my business in the street.
Pre-Rona, please, you guys.
Pre-Rona, exactly.
Stay indoors.
Pre-Rona, yes.
Even Camille in the episode, she pointed that point out, Rob, because she was like, when Jack said that he was going to the party, she's like, "Wow, that was fast." So you're right.
Fast.
Exactly. They definitely pointed that out. All right, so let's get into our final special segment. Rob, what you got for us in this trivia today?
Okay, so we're going to be doing once again the AfterBuzz TV True Hollywood Story Trivia. Okay, now, so Kelsey, this is your first time to this.
It
so
is.
You're gonna have to catch up. We're doing this on a point system, so each question we have asked has a certain amount of points. And right now, I mean, you're far behind because you just started. But so far in
right
the
now,
lead,
you're losing.
Right. So far,
just in case you didn't know.
So far in the lead, we have Tyler with 6 points. Coming behind Tyler, we have Gunnar with 4 points, and coming behind Gunnar, we have our Ryan.
I ain't last anymore. I ain't last.
Exactly. That's that. But you have a chance to go to first. All of you. Well,
Oof, wow.
Except for you, Kelsey. You have like 2 episodes to catch up.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I'm going to be asking these questions. The first question I'm going to ask is for 1 point, and all of you guys should know this. And so for this one, let's just say your name is your buzzer. So if you have the answer, just say your name and I'll call on you. All right. Okay. So first question: what Full House cast member was charged in the college admissions scandal?
Tyler.
Okay, go ahead, Tyler.
It's Lori Loughlin.
All right.
Whatever.
I actually forgot her name right now too. So I was like, oh, I know. I was gonna say, what's her character's name?
Becky or Becky?
Oh, Becky.
Yeah,
Aunt Becky.
I was saying Aunt Becky. I was like, that's not her real name though. Shoot. So fine. It's fine.
Okay. The second question is a little bit more hard, and the third question is really hard. I don't think you guys are gonna get it, but I have faith in you guys. Okay.
You didn't sound like you had faith.
No, you really don't. That doesn't sound like
I have faith. I have faith. So the next question is: which famous Mexican actor has a chain of taco restaurants and a donut shop in Los Angeles? I'm going to give you guys choices, okay? So the first choice: A, George Lopez; B, Danny Trejo; C, Edward James Olmos.
Kelsey.
A.
Kelsey, you got
Darn
this.
it, wrong.
B, Danny Trejo.
Oh, okay.
Am I
you got
wrong?
it. No, you're right.
Oh,
that was gonna be my answer.
I used to work there, so shout out to Danny Trejo for giving me a job back in the day.
Hey.
Okay, so the last question, and it's a hard question, but I think you guys can get it. We're gonna go slow. So, and this is multiple choice as well. Which old school Hollywood producer purchased a home which is now a historic landmark in 1984 in Los Angeles? The 3 choices are A, Joel Silver; B, Robert Evans; C, Jerry Bruckheimer. Here's a
Gunner.
hint. Oh, okay.
No,
you want to hear the hint first, or you want to?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get to go first after I say the hint.
Right.
Okay, so here's a hint. This producer produced the movie The Matrix.
Oh my gosh.
Give the names again.
Yeah, say the names again so I make sure I know.
A, Joel Silver; B, Robert Evans; C, Jerry Bruckheimer.
I'll let Gunnar go first, and then I get my answer.
It's C.
C? No, that's incorrect.
Tyler.
Okay, who is it, Tyler?
I have no idea. I'm gonna go A though. Just a guess.
You got it.
Dang it!
You got it. Yeah, Joel Silver was the producer of the Matrix
I
film.
did not know that.
And the house he
I didn't either.
purchased, the house that he purchased in the Hollywood purchase is called Storer House. It's a very old house built by one of the most famous architects, Frank Lloyd Wright. He has houses all around Los Angeles and all around the country.
Wow.
This is so fun.
That's
Right?
a great game.
Right?
I love it. Thank you for that, Rob. We really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Rob.
I can't wait just to see what the next trivia is going to be. Bump the rest of the show.
Same.
Let's just do the trivia.
I know.
So let's wrap up this episode.
Okay.
And if we're going to close with the party. There's so many things that happened in the party, so I'm just going to go a couple of them real quick and then let you all just kind of talk about them. One, Henry calls out Dick Samuels. And then after he calls him out, he then prostitutes Rock on him. Like, he then pushes Rock on him. Nothing ends up happening. They actually have like a whole moment. Like, Richard Samuels has a whole breakdown because apparently he's kind of struggling with the whole sexuality thing and just the whole moral aspect of it. And you already know how Rock feels about all of this. Like, he doesn't want to be prostituting himself at all. And then also Jack has a whole situation with Henry out on the tennis courts. Henry does his usual because he already told y'all at the beginning, it's my thing that if I'm going to work with you, I have to at least give you some personal attention. And Jack has not been he's been very consistent in that he does not like, even if he will cheat, he does not like to cheat with in the same sex. So doing any type of male on male thing is just not a go for him. And Camille witnessed all of it, which I thought was interesting because, like I said, this woman is the one to watch in this show. I think the last thing is Henry told a story about JR. He actually opened up to Rock and he was kind of telling him why he's so I guess set on really helping him. He sees something in him and he just hasn't felt this type of passion and everything to help someone. And he really, for me, my viewer relationship with Henry is like a roller coaster. It's like 1 minute I cannot stand the things that he says. I cannot stand his personality. Then the next minute he's making me laugh. Then the next minute he's almost making me not cry, but just kind of making me feel sad. And then at the drop of a dime, he flips it. And once again, he's prostituted Rock out yet again. What do y'all think about all of this that took place in like the last 10, 15 minutes of this episode? And we will start with Kelsey.
Okay, what was the first thing you said was, let's go.
Henry calling out Dick Samuels.
Oh,
yeah.
And then he prostitutes Rock onto him. Well, yeah, Henry's a dick in this moment. I'm like, come on, bro. But then I really liked the scene with Dick and Rock. I thought that was a really tender, cool scene, and it kind of showed. And even Rock said it was like, "You're the first nice person I've met in Hollywood," and I like how they did that. I like how they're like, there are good people here. It just is maybe harder to like weed them out, and they're also stuck and confused and insecure and have been beat down. So I really, really liked that scene with them. But yeah, Henry's killing me.
I love that. That's such a great point because I think that is the actual truth of the matter. People love to say, oh, there's so many fake people in LA or LA people are this, when really the people that are here, the majority of them do have morals, do have values, but we've all had to play this game that everybody's on high alert. And it's like, well, I don't know who to trust yet. So
it's all about trust,
everybody's trying to play the game. What do you think about all of that, Rob?
Yes, I agree. You get to see the fact that Henry could possibly have some way to change, but in the end, he doesn't change. And it's all about, in the spirit of fakeness, of LA fakeness, it's all about presenting that you are one way and then pulling the rug right at the end. And the same thing with when it goes with Rock and Mr. Samuels. Now, I like this moment because this is a moment where Rock says, okay, you're a good man, an honest man. And then you get to see Mr. Samuels take that from that conversation, and then when he goes to the studio the next day,
Right.
and gets and decides to give Camille the screen test because he wants to be a good person. He wants to be a nice person, the nice person in this.
And making up for what he didn't do for the other actress,
The one
Miss
Wong,
Wong,
at the beginning.
yes.
Miss Wong, yeah. Absolutely. That's a very good point. Gunnar, what do you think?
See, I so thought Jack, when he made that confession about his wife, I thought this story was gonna be a bit about Jack's sexuality and like learning that he is into men, or maybe as they learned ambidextrous about your sexuality, but then he really isn't, and that's what I like respect, that confidence. Like, I'm not this. I'm kind of even a matter of I'm not going to change for you to get ahead. I'm not going to change who I am. And I thought he was going to have to, and Claire was going to see it and exploit it and use it to her advantage. But she didn't have to see anything. She really just saw him stand up for himself. And Dick's story is just, it kills me. And I feel so bad for probably how many people had to go through that, especially people in power, to ignore that and not be allowed to be them full selves. And Roy like experienced that, getting to find those good people, because him and Miss Kincaid are my absolute favorite, because they show you that good people are in charge. They just don't get the recognition that they do. And see, Henry's moment with me, it was just being a writer and knowing about character development. It's called Pet the Cat, and that you show that, oh, this really bad person is not just an absolute monster. Like, oh, here, they'll pet the cat and they'll help it and then still do bad things. And to me, I'm just like, you might have this really heartbreaking thing, but you're still, you ain't doing it for me.
Yeah, he keeps you on the hook. He is a master manipulator. He knows, this is not his first time. He's almost like the pedophiles of today that you kind of have to watch out for. It's like they are masters at this. They're not new. It's almost like they've been training for this their whole life. It's a game
to them,
Yes, literally.
Like I think Rob, you said he has learned how to point out, just from how you walk in a room. He can point out your weaknesses and then exploit them for his personal gain, however he feels. That was a great way to look at that. And what did you think about the whole situation when Henry was talking about JR? Did you connect with that at all, or was it completely in one ear and out because of what then happened immediately following, when he then prostitutes Rock yet again?
It kind of really was like, it gave me a little bit of like sympathy, like, all right, so you're broken, like you're damaged too, like that explains that you're not just an absolute monster, you're not just horrible, but you're still doing bad things, and it kind of just like, you just suck, like you're not learning from this pain or learning from, you're just making it worse for other people too.
Yeah, and like you, I also thought that Jack's storyline was going to go in a different direction. I thought and maybe that's just the obvious way to go. Like I thought it was going to go that same path, and the fact that it didn't, and he's so dead fast on, no, this is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. I'm not going to judge you, but this is just who I am. I'm all here for it. So let's go ahead and give the people what they want, which are our predictions for episode 4. And this time we start with my boy Gunnar.
So for predictions for episode 4, I think we're gonna see a lot more of kind of combat between Henry and Dick. I think those two are gonna really start to come ahead and like challenge each other. And I think we're gonna see some struggles more with Jack and his wife. I think they're gonna start to really crumble now. Either they're gonna make it or they're gonna break it here.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's absolutely. Somebody else that we didn't talk about, I'm sure we'll talk about him a lot more in the next episode, was Raymond and his whole situation and his interaction with the party and kind of even being kicked out of the party. But we can cover all of that later, unless y'all want to mention it in your outros. Go ahead, Kelsey.
I think we're going to see something happen with Jack and Claire in this next episode. She has something up her sleeve, and I don't know what it is, but I think something's going to happen with them. I also think we're going to see a little bit more development with Archie and Rock, because they're so cute and I love them. I hope we do, because I like them. What else? Those are my two big ones, I think, for this episode especially. I think it's going to be a lot about Jack and Claire.
Okay. And what about you, Rob?
I think that my prediction is that Rock Hudson is going to get the role in Peg. He's going to get that role, and I think also with the studio head, we didn't get a chance to really talk about him.
Yes.
Rob Reiner,
Yeah.
I'm so glad
Yeah.
he popped up.
Oh,
But
Rob
I think
Reiner, yeah.
from that conversation at the table, I think Rob Reiner is going to intentionally try to sabotage his daughter's screen test.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. I think
Yeah.
because it's the writings are on the wall.
Yeah.
And as far as Archie, I think Archie is going to be given a difficult task of some kind of rewrite, and he's not going to like it. I think that's going to be a critical moment, like between Archie and the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know that's already gonna, because he wants it to be a white film. He doesn't want a black actress as the lead, where Raymond, who's producing it, he wants to put his girlfriend Camille in it. So you know that's gonna be that's gonna be an issue. So I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm jumping on that train. Absolutely. I also cannot wait to see these screen tests between Camille and Claire. I think it's another one of those Miss Wong situations where clearly it's gonna go to the person that they think can bring in the more eyes instead of the better actress, and it's just gonna be a mess. And I'm here for all of it because I love drama that's not actually in my life. So I can't wait to see.
Same.
Can't wait to see what happens. And make sure you guys tune in for episode 5. I believe we shoot that today at 5, or episode 4. I believe we shoot that today at 6. Is that 6? Okay, that's 6. So make sure you guys come back at 6 for that. And Gunnar, starting with you, why don't you tell the people where they can find you on social media?
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And against the ESPN TV Talk, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheGunnerThomas.
Yay, Kelsey.
And you guys, no one's been chatting, but come and join us and jump in the chat because we want to talk to you and we want to hear your thoughts. So at 6 and then 8 and 10, you can chat with us basically the whole day. So jump in that chat. And you can find me on all social media. I'm Kels Meyer 2.
Yay. And Rob, what about you, man?
And you can find me on Insta at Rob Steelo. That's STEELO. If you have any good predictions or any good tea, slide in the DM. All right.
Absolutely. For those of you that did jump in the chat in episodes 1 and 2, thank you. Like Kelsey said, come on back. We'll comment later. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button to if you like this video and you want to stay up all things AfterBuzz TV. And if you're listening on any of the podcasts, please rate the 5 stars and help to continue to make us the ESPN of TV Talk. Follow AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV. And of course, follow me at the Tyler Tyson on all social media. And we will see y'all later today at 6.
Yes.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.